Why is the Labour government prioritising illegal immigrants over British citizens? In this video, Patrick Christys raises questions about the controversial Epping court ruling and Yvette Cooper's response. Plus, we'll explore how the leadership principle of government priorities could shape our understanding of this issue. Before we get into the details, if you love diving into political issues and enjoy hearing a principled take on them, then hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to join the conversation. It will help our channel reach a wider audience.
Secretary. She appealed the decision to force the Bell Hotel in Epping to close, and today her lawyers said this in court. The rights of asylum seekers trump the rights of local British people. There it is. Our Home Secretary arguing that the rights of illegal immigrants who've just broken into Britain outweigh the rights of hard-working British taxpayers. Her position is now untenable, in my view. But there's more. Yvette Cooper's lawyers also argued that allegations of serious sexual assault are not a good enough reason to close a migrant hotel. Now, just to clarify, the allegations about one man at the Epping Hotel involve a 14-year-old girl in school uniform. He denies the charges, but how can anybody elected to represent the people of Great Britain argue that allegations of sexual assault against a British schoolgirl are not sufficient grounds to shut a migrant hotel? Another reason she should resign is, in my opinion, incompetence. The Home Secretary did not intervene in the case that was at the High Court. That's where they originally decided that they should be shutting this hotel down. She didn't intervene in that until the very last minute, just before the judge was due to deliver his verdict. Why was that? Well, it emerged in court again today that her lawyers said this. The lawyers said, yes, I agree, that was unsatisfactory of us. It was brought on at short notice, the window was extremely tight, and listen to this very closely, everybody. It was in August. That, in the real world, does create difficulties. You know what they mean, I suspect, is that Yvette Cooper was on holiday. She was interrailing with her husband Ed Bulls as all of this was blowing up, and that is inexcusable. She should go for that alone, actually. Then we've got the fact that her migrant deal with the French is crumbling.
France has now agreed that they will now start to intervene in French waters in order to prevent small boats.
Right, and now the French police are refusing to stop the boats in the water because it's too cold. They're not doing it. She's the opposite of Midas. Everything she touches turns to rubbish. But there was another interesting development today that I would like you to be aware of. One of the judges hearing the case about the Bell Hotel is Lord Justice Bean. Now, I don't want to claim that Lord Justice Bean is anything other than a totally professional, impartial, well-qualified member of the judiciary. I just wanted to highlight his interesting past. Lord Justice Bean was reportedly a member of the Labour Party for 28 years and the former chairman of the Socialist Fabian Society. He also founded Matrix Chambers, the same chambers where the Attorney General, Lord Hermer, worked, and the lawyer who acted for Mauritius against Britain over the Chagos Islands, Philippe Sands KC. Again, we have to assume that he is capable of acting completely impartially. Anyway, today the Home Secretary argued that the rights of illegal migrants trump those of British people. She's said the unsayable. She has to go. Let's get thoughts from my panel. This evening we have got Tory peer Lord Bailey, political commentator Chloe Dobbs, former advisor to the Labour Party Matthew Larter. Sean, I'll start with you. Does she have to go over what we've heard in court today, do you think?
I'll say this, the Home Secretary's job is in the title Home Secretary. She's meant to be looking after us above all people, straight away, first thought, last thought, the people of this country. If she's not doing that, I think the people of this country will have to express their will in an election. It's an astonishing statement to say that her department would take the welfare of foreign nationals seeking asylum or not above that of British nationals. That is a very astonishing thing to say. I think secondly as well, the jury is in now. Labour have utterly failed on the small boats. And the reason I say that is because when the Tories are struggling with it, and let's be clear, I'm not suggesting we did a good job, we didn't. They made it so much harder to achieve anything. Left-wing organisations taking the government to court, the Labour Party voted against everything they could in Parliament. We haven't done that to them, and they have still failed abysmally. I think that Yvette Cooper needs to look again at her deal with the French, because they clearly are not fulfilling it, and we are paying lots of money. She needs to start to suggest the money can be spent elsewhere.
You can't have a Home Secretary who is willing to say, or via legal representatives in court, that the needs of foreigners are more important, illegal foreigners, by the way, are more important than their own citizens. It's game over.
It's disgraceful. I'm absolutely disgusted, and I think she's completely out of touch. She probably thinks that all the mums and dads that have been on those protests in Epping are just, far-right racist bigots because she lives in her bubble and doesn't go out and speak to these people. And it is crazy that you've got a Home Secretary sending her lawyers arguing that ECHR, human rights laws are more important than the safety of women and girls.
Yeah, Matthew, I'll bring you in on this as well. Now, look, do you think her position seriously is tenable? I mean, you've also got the other angle that she was willing, or via her lawyers again, to say in court today, which is that serious sexual assault allegations against a British schoolgirl are not grounds enough to warrant the closure of a migrant hotel. I mean, what is serious enough?
Well, first of all, she wants to close every migrant hotel because that's the government policy. The problem with this is that the decision about the bell in Epping is it will mean that those residents have nowhere to go. There is literally nowhere for them to go, and legally her duty to ensure under the European Convention, which we're still in for now, means that she has to find them somewhere to go.
What about just outright incompetence?
Yeah, but none of even if you take all of what Matthew said as correct, none of that justifies the idea that it's their welfare above British citizens' welfare. None of that justifies that at all. It's not per se the welfare of migrants above British citizens. It is in this particular instance of remember, this case is about the planning use. The actual legal case is about the planning permission for the Bell Hotel. Like the splitters here, there should be no circumstance. That's the point. No circumstance where you even have to question yourself if the welfare. She's elected to look after the people of Britain.
And at the moment, of course, nobody's been found guilty around the Epping thing, and that will obviously come into the consideration.
The one thing I will say about closing down a migrant hotel because of this allegation, it is an allegation, and we are in this country innocent until proven guilty.
Yes.
And the point I want to make is that we mustn't let these situations change who we are. And our rules say innocent until proven guilty. If there's a question to answer, let's answer it, but let's see what the police come up with.
I do hear that, but there is the other aspect to this, which is downright incompetence, which is that the Home Office did not challenge or make any representation about this hearing when it was in the High Court. So when they had the opportunity to do it, they did it. It was when both sides had made their case and they found out that the judge had reached a verdict, and then all of a sudden the Home Secretary decided to get involved. And her lawyers have stood up again in full view of the British press and the British public today and basically said the reason we didn't do that was because it was August, and we're very sorry. All right, so what? She's gone interrailing with Ed Balls, and she's invisible during the most important case in modern times when it comes to illegal immigration. You have to go over that alone, surely.
Yeah, I mean, the incompetence is just off the scale, not just on this, but since she got into power. She campaigned on a promise to smash the gangs and set up this new border force control command, or whatever she called it, or border fast, as you should probably call it. And then they came in July, and the entire summer, when it's July, August, lovely sunny weather, the boats just came in and they didn't even have somebody in charge of the new border force command until the autumn, after the big hurry of people coming across in the summer. There's no urgency whatsoever. And let's not forget, this is the woman who held up a refugees welcome sign. I do not think she has genuine conviction about this issue.
I just want to ask you...
Well, genuine refugees are and should be welcome.
I just want to...
The problem is, again, I said it from the beginning, we've conflated refugees with economic migrants.
Yeah.
We've conflated people who need help to people who will play our system.
Can you imagine Britain's Home Secretary legal team in court defending asylum seekers and claiming their rights trump those of local communities? It's outrageous, yet here we are. You would think that the Labour government believes asylum seekers' rights are of greater priority than those of Brits, based on their actions. But here it is, clearly stated in court. It's a shocking betrayal. Who is paying the salaries of those government leaders? Not asylum seekers, but British taxpayers. So why are the rights of illegal immigrants being placed above those of hard-working Brits? This is one of the last things you'd expect from a Home Secretary, prioritising non-citizens over the people they are sworn to serve. Based on Yvette Cooper's position on citizens versus asylum seekers, I truly believe that her title should be changed from Home Secretary to Britain's Asylum Seeker Secretary. This isn't a misstep, it's a government completely out of touch. The European Court of Human Rights, the ECHR, is tying Britain's hands, and our politicians are letting it happen. If our leaders truly stood up for Brits, we would have left the ECHR years ago. It's outdated and unfit for purpose, yet we are still shackled by its rulings. This Labour government actions are sowing division. Let's face reality. People have legitimate concerns about immigration, and trust is earned by addressing those concerns, not dismissing them. Brits should never have to fight and have demonstration in the streets to get the government to do what is right by them. It's time for Britain's leaders to shift course and put citizens first. A government's primary duty is to ensure the safety, security, and prosperity of its people. That means bold action, breaking free from the ECHR, securing our borders, and prioritizing British taxpayers. Join the conversation below. Benefited in any way from this video? Please subscribe, like, share, and be sure to leave us a comment.